In this video, I'm going to go over the impact of sports psychology on youth athletes. Now, the impact that I'm referring to is the positive impact of incorporating sports psychology training within youth sports. Now, as a mental performance coach, I've worked one-on-one with many youth athletes. And one thing I can say is that the earlier a young athlete starts to learn these skills, the better, because they're beginning to incorporate this mental side of the game early, so then these skills are going to carry with them as they get older. We don't just want to wait till the athlete is older to when they're experiencing some mental game challenges like the fear of failure or anxiety in order for them to get started with sports psychology training. Yes, at that time, it's a fantastic moment to begin this training, especially if they need it. But if when they were younger, they already learned these skills, it's going to be easier for them to manage the challenges that we know they're going to face as they get older. So there are 5 main benefits that I want to discuss within this video that your young athlete can expect when they start to work on sports psychology training. The first one is going to be improved self-awareness. Whenever we're thinking about any sort of mental skill, self-awareness is really going to be the foundation. From self-awareness, the young athlete is going to be able to manage mistakes better. They're going to be able to recognize what gives them confidence better. But now self-awareness is a skill that needs to be worked on, and it's worked on by learning how to kind of look inward and think, okay, what am I thinking in this moment? How is the way that I'm thinking impacting the way that I'm feeling? How are my thoughts and feelings then influencing my behavior on the field or the court? Through sports psychology training, your youth athlete is going to learn better self-awareness skills. The next benefit is improved self-confidence. Self-confidence refers to the trust that your young athlete has within their self and their game. Now, a cool exercise that I've begun using with the athletes I work with in one-on-one coaching is an exercise where we get to the really kind of the root core idea of what it means to be confident. Not necessarily just this idea of, okay, trusting in themselves, but the mental state that they're in whenever they're confident. So your young athlete, by using sports psychology training, they're going to learn, what it really means for them to be playing with confidence. But on top of that, they're also going to learn how to start building more self-confidence. What this means is they learn how to use different tools and techniques to increase their confidence by focusing on what they did well, learning how to generate that feeling of confidence going into games, training themselves to focus more on the positives of their game, and learning how to reframe negatives so they don't tear down their confidence. They're also going to learn how to manage any sort of challenges that can work against their confidence, like fear and like anxiety. Another benefit is self-control. The self-control we can think of as, kind of controlling their emotions in the moment. So whether that's calming themselves down before games, or whether it is managing mistakes and not getting so frustrated after a mistake. Self-control is also going to be, how they react with teammates and how they interact with their coaches. Self-control is going to really stem from this self-awareness that I mentioned earlier. Self-awareness is the foundation. How am I thinking right now? How's that impacting the way that I'm feeling, the way that I'm acting? And then once you start to understand that, then you can begin to control it. One of the main reasons that I'll work with a young athlete in one-on-one coaching is so that they can get a better understanding of how to manage mistakes. Specifically, how not to lose composure after mistakes. The skill of self-control helps them to be able to recognize that yes, they're feeling frustrated, but then control their reaction to that frustration once it happens. A fourth benefit is improved mental health. Now, mental health within sports, is often going to catch our attention when things aren't going well. But if your young athlete can learn skills like self-awareness, improving their confidence, calming their nerves, managing anxiety, managing mistakes, managing fears and frustrations, if they can learn all those skills, what they're beginning to do is they're taking a proactive approach to their mental health, which means they're working on developing skills that will make it easier for them to have a healthy mindset as they grow older and as they continue to get into higher and higher levels within their sport. And the fifth benefit that I want to mention is increased enjoyment within their sport. So many young athletes are struggling with enjoyment within their sport because of fear, because of anxiety, because of perfectionism, feeling like they can't make any mistakes. And that starts to take all this enjoyment out of the sport. Now, the thing is, whether you're a youth athlete or an older athlete, enjoyment in your sport needs to be the foundation of what you do. It needs to be at the core, because without that enjoyment, frustration is going to be very hard to move on from, right? If you have a bad game, it's going to be tough to move on from that bad game and have confidence going into the next game if you don't have enjoyment in your sport. By learning sports psychology training, by learning the other skills I've already mentioned, and by learning many other mental skills, youth athletes learn how to enjoy themselves more. Not just because they learn how to focus on what they enjoy more, but because they learn how to manage the things that are going to keep them from enjoying themselves as much within their sport. So how can you get your young athlete started with sports psychology training? That's where the Mentally Tough Kid comes into play. The Mentally Tough Kid is a 6-module program that will teach your young athlete the 6 mental skills they need to build mental toughness and to improve their mindset as an athlete. Each video is only about 5 to 10 minutes long, so it's very easy for them to watch and consume. And within each video, there's also going to be an exercise for them to complete, so it's a very interactive program. Now, I put a link to learn more about the Mentally Tough Kid in the description below, so go ahead and click on that if you'd like. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. I put out new videos each week on sports psychology and mental training.